people buy stuff off of. They buy it when they're standing at the curb and they look at it. So we want that good look. People take a lot of pride in how their structure looks. They spend weekends dressing it up, right? Cutting the lawn, doing this, adding that. They take a lot of pride in this stuff. And we want to make sure we're cognizant of that and we appreciate it. So that's what this one's about. If you would turn to page 247. Elements of design. What do we mean by line? What do we mean by form? Do the lines on your structure match up? Are they kind of wishy-washy where because uniformity is attractive in a structure. But if you have one where the lines just go all wishy-washy and they're intersecting in weird things, it's going to look cluttered. The form is the same thing. If I've got one gable that sits over here, and then I put another one over here, and it doesn't look anything like it, the structure is going to look like some guy built it in the 1800s, another guy came in the 1900s and knocked something together, and somebody else came in the 2000s and put a little bit more on there. And none of them took any consideration to what happened before them. That's what it's going to look like. So we want that uniformity type of look. Now, certainly there's people out there that do different things, but that needs to be driven by the client. Color. God, color is such a hot topic. Stay away from color in the initial design process. That would be my advice. You'll have a chance to deal with color later. Stay away from it. People are very passionate about color, and you'll waste all your time talking about red versus beige or something. You'll have a time for that later. There's a bunch of good stuff on there, starting on about page 253. They run into styles of home. You should really be familiar with the styles of home and what are the design elements of them. Okay, so if I do a colonial house, what is one of the major design components of a colonial house? Yeah, windows, shutters. Do they have porticos with columns? That's kind of the stuff of it. America has got some very unique styles in that we had so many immigrants, right, that came in, that we have German influence, Dutch influence, we have Spanish influence, we've got European influence, we've got the Old West influence. Okay, we've got a blend of everything here, okay, everything. Quick drive around Twin Falls would show you that, right? You go Old Town, what are they mostly? They're all old craftsman's house with a Dutch influence. Okay? And then you go to a different part of town. Okay? Woodsack and Twin Falls were mostly that. If you go to a big city, you're going to see an Italian section, you're going to see an Irish section, and all the architecture they brought in. Many of you get to Boise. I've driven Warm Springs Road. They have all the old mansions there that were the original downtown. What kind of those? They're kind of all colonial, right? And that's because those settlers came into that area. That was actually an Italian influence. Okay. So you have all those. Know what these are. What's a Cape Cod? Southern colonial. The Spanish type of houses. Look at what are some of the major components of these. I will tell you, starting on page 262, they really kind of get into the American type of homes that are really kind of unique to our area. They are now going throughout the world because they're efficient. That's generally one of the things I think we can take pride in, is that we do things fairly efficiently. So you start with the American Foursquare, they go to the farmhouse, they go to the prairie, the bungalow, the craftsman, ranch, and contemporary. Those are all American-influenced types of houses, with probably the ranch home being the most common. Does anybody live in a ranch home? I do. I love the ranch home design. And in fact, I built my dream home like a ranch home. But it's a great floor plan.
I like contemporary.
Contemporary.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
So please, this is going to be one of the major components right at the start, is that's going to give you some of your design elements. So you should look through that. So please, spend some time tonight when you're sitting there, turn the TV off and look through that instead. I'm not going to give you an assignment on it, but it'll be pretty apparent when you meet with your client if you've looked at that stuff. Let's go to the internet if you would. Let's just give a quick brief on some of the things you can look for here. First off, if you would just come in to open your browser and just type in houseplants. There's a whole bunch of them on that will pop up. If you would, towards the top somewhere, I've got houseplans.com. Let's just all go into the same website. Does everybody see a www.houseplans.com one? Okay, just click into that site if you would. Now what you're really going into here is people have put some plans together and you can buy them over the internet. They will not be for your area so that you would then have to hire a drafter to go through them and make some changes. But real quickly, let's just do a quick search. So you got this little quick search right here. Does everybody have that? Let's do 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-story. And then under styles, why don't we choose, how about farmhouse plans?
Are these all renderings? Or have they?
Many times these are renderings.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll do elevations.
What were the styles again? Was that the same?
Farmhouse.
Just choose one. I chose farmhouse. So what's unique about a farmhouse, usually it has an area where you approach it that is for vehicles, and the whole house is centered on that area.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's just pick one. I'll grab the very top one. That one on the left is kind of a nice little farm looking thing with the broken pitch roof. But I'm going to choose this one on the right, Plan 430-165. Just click on it. Now, the reason I wanted to go into one of these and talk about it, because really in the residential market, this is generally where your plans start from. Somebody shows up and says, hey, I want you to draft my house. Here's a house that's close to what I like, but I want to change these things. And you need to understand some things about these drawings. These are marketing drawings. What do I mean by that? They're not right. Okay? So
There's no.
now over on the right, do you see these where there's some elevations and floor plans showing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to click into the floor plan. Now I'm just going to kind of zoom in on it a little bit so it's covered up in here. Notice here, this is really what I'm looking for in your first meeting you come with your client, is a drawing that looks a lot like this. Okay, where we have the walls specified, the doors may or may not be specified. You should have a room tile with approximate dimensions of the room. Now, when you get this, if you got this from a client, keep in mind you would take this and do it. This house is not this size. They've double counted a lot of the square footage in here to make it appear bigger so that they can sell it. So in essence, if I look at this and it says 16.2 by 15.6, when I design this room, it will never be that size. Because what they're doing is they're counting this wall and that wall for the 16.2 and maybe something else, maybe they just made it up. But then when they do this room, they're counting that wall again and that wall, and they'll double count a lot of spaces. The things, point being, when somebody comes in and hands you one of these and asks you to draft them, which will happen to you, tell them this, this is going to have to be worked because it will not be these sizes. It never is. This is always bigger than what it is. It's a marketing thing. Okay? They want it to appear bigger. Now, if you get into some of these rooms that share common walls, like in here, this guy, no way it's that size. It's stealing from there, which one do you count it for? Because we got the same room in both of them. And in fact, you should, if you were ethical, you would have only the usable area and you wouldn't count the walls. Okay, but we have to count walls because it's part of the area. Anyway, you can get a lot of good information here, though. Yes.
Well, is our client looking for just usable space when we present ours?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I haven't talked to him recently.
Okay.
All right, so that's in essence, whenever you start with these folks, just know that these things are not exact, they're not even close. Okay, you're gonna have to make calls on stuff. So this might be, once you get a little bit of information from your client, maybe you wanna research through some of these because you can get a lot of good design elements off of here. Okay, if you think of the flow of a structure. One of the big things you wanna do when you're putting your initial design together, okay, here's the foyer, here's where I'm coming in this structure. Okay. One of the big things I do is when I put this together, okay, that's the top of my head. Okay. I visualize, I just open the door and I'm standing right there. What do I see? Okay. This is the foyer, this is the entrance to the house. This is where I make an impression on my guests, on myself. Okay. Now, they've got a foyer that comes through. Am I got a hallway right here where I'm looking down a tunnel as soon as I get in my house? Is that what I want? Do I want it to open up, kind of majestic, into vaulted ceilings? Okay, what do I want? Put yourself in that place and visualize what you can see. It will tell you where doors need to go, what you need to have in that. Move yourself through. I'm now right here, and I'm looking this way, and this way. What do I see? How do I want people coming through this door to interact? Most of us would probably come in right here, right? So for my own use, what do I need close to here? I'm probably packing for me it'd be my purse, right? My little black backpack, I call it my purse, it's got all my stuff in it. You might be bringing groceries. Okay? What do you need in those areas as you walk into them? When I come in, do I want, because I know I'm coming here, okay, do I want a pantry in here? Do I want the kitchen sitting way over here that I can't access? Is this gonna be constant access? Do I need a bathroom here? So if, I got outside people, they don't have to tromp through on a muddy day all the way through my house to reach a bathroom? Visualize those things as you put this together, and it'll teach you about the flow of a house. Why do we have a dining room sitting next to the kitchen? Well, if you got it 3 rooms away, you're probably not thinking about this, right? That is our job. Okay? So there's some good things that happen with these. I think with a few minutes of search, you're going to find some stuff that might help you on your plans. If you would, you can leave that open, a new page, or just hit escape back to the first one. And if you wish to do different types of homes, okay, I'm all about doing that stuff. I kind of like the new technology. We've had a revolution in how we build in the last 25 years. Totally changed, totally changed. The stuff we're doing with concrete alone is just phenomenal if you're into that. I mean, what's lightweight concrete? We're using that for roofs now. We're doing all kinds of weird stuff. We're staining it. We're using it on this one. I want you to search for ARX Building Products, ARXX, and type building products. This right here came about, they've been around for a long time, but really kind of came into the commercial market 20 years ago or so. So ARX, ARXX Building Products. And I've got my link coupled down, it's arxwalls.com. If you want to do your house design out of this, hey, I'd be all about helping you do this. This right here is, in my opinion, the best building material we have at this point in time. In essence, it's what we call an RCF for a residential structure. It's gone commercial somewhat also because it's such a good product. Do you like Lego blocks? That's how you build these homes. They're Lego blocks, and then we fill them full of concrete. So you can make any shape you want. They're perfectly straight. You no longer have to deal with bent 2x4s and 2x6s, drywall, exterior sheeting, screws right to them. Their insulation factor, you don't insulate them. They're already at an R50 or better. which is almost double what code requires. These things are like living in the side of a mountain. I've built 2 of these homes, and I've never seen anything better on the market, ever. They are pretty spectacular. If you wanted to do something like this, hey, we'll put your house together like this. But this is kind of what I'm saying. You want to go standard 2x6, that's the way I'm going to do my house. But if you want to jump outside of that, meet with your client and talk about it. These things are getting fairly common now. I know just for me driving in and out from work, I saw 3 of these built in the last couple of years on my little 12-mile jaunt.
What's the price?
Typically, they're about 10% more than standard wood construction. Typically, depends on the price of wood. So if you wanted to do something like that, this is research on building materials. Let's open another tab. If you need some information on a product, let's just type Pella windows. Pella is P-E-L-L-A. Okay, I no longer keep catalogs around here. We do this. So if you want to know what type of windows to come in, Pella is a very upscale window manufacturer. They're probably not what's going into a spec home, but certainly a standard home they would. A standard spec or a standard nicer home, excuse me. Let's see. Where I got window cost. Where's Pella? Find www.pella.com and click into that. So if you need to know sizes on windows, you will find, if you search around in here, I'm going to go under products, windows. Actually, probably what I want is under support. Let me see what we got here. What I look for here is the sizing
Architect,
chart.
other professionals that has architect.
Yeah. I'm going to click into the support though. Warranties, what I want is down at the bottom. I want support professional design specs files. I'm going to jump into that one. If you search around, what you're really looking for here is a sizing chart. If I'm going to go with a single hung window, which is a vertical open window that only opens one way, or a double hung, the sizes of them, you can get them all off of here, and the different types that you want. By the way, on this one, document type. Oh, I got some BIM blocks. I've got CAD blocks. There's stuff that'll go right into AutoCAD here if you're doing those drawings. Maybe you don't even need it. Just come down here and download the block. Yeah, I'm not going to spend too long as it is. I'm not going to go through here, and there's some brochures. That's probably the best place to go. But,
How do you know when it's okay to download something?
if you're at any of these vendor sites, okay, then you're pretty safe. Okay? We have a pretty good firewall at CSI. If you're at some obscure one you've never heard about, or that somebody contacted you through your email and said, come look at our site and download from it, then yeah, I wouldn't do that. Okay? But if you go to their site, and we'll use our big ones because they're the ones sold here, right? You got Milgard, you got Pella, you got Anderson, Western, Amco. Those are kind of your big standard guys that pretty much all our big box retailers carry. All right, so this is where you're going to go for a lot of your size information. If you get into here and you absolutely can't find what you want, then get with some of our computer nerds in here and they'll help you. If nothing else, I can stumble through it with you. Okay. I'm going to stop there. I've been going way too long. I didn't mean to take this much of your time for today. But point being, you're going to have to do research outside. Feel free to do it. Okay. Any questions for me? Tomorrow, we are going to build our templates, title blocks. We'll go over a bunch of that. We're going to kind of briefly, time permitting, get 9, 10, and 11. Anything important out of there that you have questions on. Additionally, tomorrow, I do need to take some time and show you how to start, because you're gonna have your client's information, start analyzing that for your first meeting. All right, thank you for your time. The rest of the day is yours. Like I mentioned, we should be into the render process here the next hour or so if you want to get her done by 2:30. Do you got the view you're looking for? Okay, the last one you get. You good with it? Okay. All right, let's go. So you have